Okay, so we're here with Michael Occhipinti, guitarist from Toronto, Canada, who is here with his band Shine On, who are playing our Inside Track series here at the Lincoln Theater, 8 p.m. September 19th. We just wrapped up our offstage at the Jazz Academy, which was a chance for you to play a little bit, but mostly talk about the inspiration for the music that you're performing, other inspirations that you have, and just some of your musical background. Why don't you first tell us your story?
Okay.
And a little bit about your musical influences and kind of what led to this collaboration.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm a guitarist in Toronto, Canada. I'm a composer and arranger, and I'm kind of an eclectic person. I do a lot of different things. I play in a lot of different styles of music. I think the unifying thing is that I'm interested in sort of a creative approach to guitar. Doesn't matter if I'm playing a funk band or playing world music or jazz. I kind of want to be able to show off who I am as a guitarist, and I'm interested in sounds, and at the same time, if I play R&B, I want to be able to play it really authentically. It means a lot to me to, if I decide I'm playing a James Brown tune exactly the way, because there's great guitar parts on those recordings, it means a lot to me to take that stuff seriously. And then if I'm in a context where I feel like I can be creative with it, then I will, And I've been a band leader for really since I got out of university. I was always, I went to York University in Toronto, which had a very mainstream kind of jazz program, which was really good for me. It kind of taught me the standard repertoire and that kind of approach. But I had always played in sort of original music pop bands prior to going to university and through university. And I was always writing, so when I got to school, I wanted to keep writing, and I was interested in the composing side of things. And really, for me, when I went to the Banff Center for the Arts, which is a very prestigious jazz summer workshop, and when I was in my third year of university, and there were people like Steve Coleman there, and Bunky Green, and Rufus Reid, and Kenny Wheeler, and that really blew me away because everybody there was doing original music. So then I felt like, okay, I can do that, And so when I got back to Toronto, I started doing that, and a friend of mine who had gone to university with, we had this idea to put a big band together, and it was only because our fourth year assignment at York was to write a 10-minute piece for a big band, and we got to hear it performed, and I really loved that magic. It's like, okay, these ideas came out of my head, they went down on pieces of paper, because I didn't have any software at that point, right? And handed out to all these musicians, and suddenly this fantastic sound comes out. And when I got out of university, my friend Paul Neufeld and I said, we were talking, like, well, we're never going to hear that. That's a shame, we're never going to hear that ever again. And we thought, well, why not? So we started sort of informally calling just friends and anyone that we thought would maybe get together every 6 weeks, 2 months, and we would start writing music for it. And after about a year, we had this, kind of enough repertoire to do a gig, and we thought it was, again, it's funny how you throw a stone in the pond and ripples happen, right? So we did our first gig, and oddly enough, one of the major newspapers came and reviewed it and said that this band is unlike any other band in the city, and they're onto something different. Maybe they're more inspired by people like Charles Mingus and Henry Threadgill and Kenny Wheeler, so a little less sort of traditional. And so then we thought, okay, we better keep doing this, And so ultimately, we ended up doing a record which ended up winning our Juno was your Grammy, and a year later we had this record that you couldn't even get outside of Toronto, and it won. So then that band kind of became a big focus for the first 10 years of my career, and we ended up kind of involving guest artists. We brought Don Byron up to be a guest, and I love that because he fit into the band so well, and he suited our writing, and also we became great friends, and we're still friends. He was touring with me this summer, so that was nice. But we ended up having Sam Rivers come and play with us and do a record with him. We did some concerts with Joe Lovano and Ray Anderson, and so I did that that was kind of the main focus, and I kind of not neglected, but I kind of put aside the idea of being a guitarist. I was playing guitar in the big band. I think I'm one of the only people in the world that kind of conducts a big band while playing the guitar, which is hard. But I had small groups, but really it was because of the big band that we ended up on this record company called True North, and True North is more of a, folk indie pop kind of label. And they had this guy, Bruce Cockburn, this legendary Canadian songwriter, guitarist, on the label. And so I started taking home Bruce Cockburn CDs, and I was like, oh, this is a beautiful song. I'd like to do that song, And I started playing some of his songs as part of my set. It seemed to, I'd be doing a gig with my quartet, doing original music, and rather than doing Stella by Starlight, suddenly it seemed like these Bruce Cockburn tunes maybe were better suited to that context,
Right.
And so his manager heard me do a couple of them, and he said, hey, no one's ever done that with Bruce's music before. Would you do another couple of songs? If I gave you some money, would you record a demo? And so I demoed them, and his manager said, I think you should do a whole album of it. And so they gave me some money to do an album of it, and Bruce came and played on it, which was great. And that, I think that kind of marked the shift where I suddenly started to focus on myself as a small group leader.
Right.
Because that band toured a lot. And so coming out of that idea of doing a songbook, I ended up doing my first record of all Sicilian music, where I took all these Sicilian songs. And that's because I have a strong connection to Sicily. My parents were Sicilian, and I have family there. And in fact, I hadn't been there in a long time, and my parents passed away in the 90s, but in 2003, my first child, my first daughter was born, and I happened to be doing a gig with the big band in the Netherlands, and so my daughter was 3 months old, and I said to my wife, well, why don't you come with me to the Netherlands, and then we'll go down to Sicily and go visit my family who I hadn't seen in a long time. And then there was something about being there with my newborn daughter, and realizing that I wanted to connect her to this culture, because I speak Sicilian dialect, because my parents spoke it at home, and we have all this family, and I want her to have that connection with that family. It doesn't, the distance is there, but you don't have to break the thread, right?
Sure.
And that's where I got this idea of like, well, I really enjoyed doing Bruce Cockburn's music, so maybe I would enjoy tackling Sicilian music, and did that. And really the project we're here with, the John Lennon project, kind of comes out of that idea. It seems like every few years, I like this idea of finding a repertoire to kind of choose to do. And as I said in the clinic in 2010, it was the anniversary of Lennon's passing, and he died in December, and I was asked to put on a Christmas concert by a jazz festival that I'm the artistic director of, and when I looked at the calendar, I thought, everyone's going to do a Christmas concert, so let's do a John Lennon concert. And we played this church, 200 people came, it was amazing, and everybody loved. It was so clear to me that people had this strong emotional connection to his music, and yet they liked what we were doing with it. So, and people were like, "Where's your CD? Where's and the band?" What excited me most was that I had hired all these friends of mine to come and play it, and they were all like, "This is great! What a great band! We got to do this again." And they all lead their own individual projects, so that was a bit of a challenge, because I had to always find times when they weren't busy with their things. But they've all embraced it, and they all love it, and so it's been a wonderful couple of years playing this music.
Well, yeah, and of course
That's a long answer.
That's a great